Won that last round, Kiatsongrit by 10-8 or 10-9, but he lost 2 points because of all the problems.
Rick Roufus, again, an American fighter, not used to these rules in the long red pants. Kiatsongrit is not used to being hit. That's a legitimate knockdown. Well, now Schletzinger's calling that one a slip.
The way that works, the kicks to the legs don't get called as knockdowns, they get called as sweeps. So again, it doesn't count as a knockdown.
Roufus with a good left to catching Kiatsongrit coming in. Kiatsongrit, a tough young man. Roufus has hurt him a lot, and he's still there. Roufus taking a lot of stuff on his legs here, and you have to wonder if Rick Roufus isn't wondering why in the world he took this fight.
Roufus needs to go back to the plan of moving in more. He's not attacking enough, and he's got to use that type of thing. Straight shots, those side kicks and front kicks can do something to stop a little bit.
Now Roufus, as you say earlier in the fight, was doing that and scoring very well. Shook Kiatsongrit up badly in the first round. Now he seems to want to dance away, and that's not working. Quite honestly, it's not working.
Good left hand then by Roufus.
A left and a right.
He's catching the Kiatsongrit go down at the very end of those punches. He's not really hitting in close enough and short enough to have a lot of steam on him.
And there is another potential problem. When Kiatsongrit comes in to kick, Roufus drops one hand down to block the kick, throws a punch with the other hand, leaving himself wide open. A minute 30 left to go in round number 3. We are halfway through round 3. Kiatsongrit landing the kicks, and Rick Roufus looking a little bit tentative for the first time. Good left and a right and a left by Roufus as he is fighting from the right side. Comes up with a good uppercut into the ribs that shook Kiatsongrit. Crowd very vocal in the background. John and I can hardly hear each other. There's 1 minute left in round number 3. That shot to the legs hurt Roufus.
Roufus again landing those punches, but they're too far extended to really have a lot of sting on.
And he's also not able to get a rotation of his hips to throw the punch, John, because he's got bad legs down.
His legs are obviously bothering him. He's really having a problem.
Now there's a throw by Kiatsongrit, which under normal circumstances is legal. I'm not sure if it's legal in this fight or not, John. Are you?
We didn't really discuss that. We didn't discuss whether it is legal. It's okay. I think that there should be no warnings issued on that because we really discussed that.
And Roufus's legs are clearly hurting him.
Once again, Tom Schletzinger warning him about the throws.
Rick Roufus is over here limping, obviously legs bothering him. If Roufus is going to win this, he's going to have to do it fast.
The problem. Oh, he's penalized at 3 points. Oh, my goodness.
Well, now that's strange. What are the 3 points coming from now? Roufus with a good kick into the ribs. And again,
Rick Roufus just taking, his legs are just taking an absolute pounding.
And you wonder if Roufus isn't being just a little bit too brave here. He doesn't really have much to lose in this thing. He ought to just forget it right now if his legs... Listen, we're talking about a potential world champion here. And you just wonder... Well, it is wild and woolly at the Sands, folks, and we're going to have more after this.
The problem that we're having right now, the problem that we're having in this fight is that as we see this hip throw that Kiatsongrit throws on Rick Roufus, is that we have fighters fighting in 2 different games, and they really haven't had a chance to work the rules out to the point where both fighters are comfortable with some sort of a blended set of rules, and it's causing an awful lot of discussion and an awful lot of unhappiness on the part of both sides, I would say.
And add to that the language barrier. Obviously, Tom Schletzinger, our referee, who I think is maintaining pretty decent control of this fight, considering, but he doesn't speak Thai. The Thai fighters don't speak English. It's very hard for him to communicate with them in there, and they, of course, are probably feeling slighted by these points penalizing. But then again, the rules are the rules.
We're going to see another strong leg kick here. Bang, right on the inside there of the knee, taking Rick Roufus down. I mean, got to be incredibly painful.
Anybody who's ever played a minute of football can tell you how bad that hurts, let alone kickboxing. Rick Roufus. Rick Roufus now trying to keep away from the legs of Kiatsongrit, and probably his safest haven is as close to Kiatsongrit as he can get. Roufus has the power, and Kiatsongrit has never been hit the way Roufus can hit him. And Roufus is hurt now. He tried to spin fist there, and he got kicked, I think, and he is down and hurting. It is not that from a punch, his legs are killing him at the moment. Rick Roufus in the corner. Can we hear this?
Well, he's saying in there, they ought to stop. His corner ought to stop this.
They really should. This is a case of Rick wanting to be too honorable here. This is an exhibition fight.
Well, he's really taking a chance on suffering some permanent injury.
If he's going to stay, John, he just ought to get right up on the guy and let him have it. Otherwise, he's...
Kiatsongrit looking very, very strong now, and just obviously extremely aggressively coming in with those leg kicks.
Well, he knows clearly, and the referee, Tom Schlesinger, has stopped this fight, and probably that's a very smart thing to do. Roufus really is not being hurt by punches. What he is being is hurt in the legs, and this is something that it's silly to take any more risk. Roufus, as you can see there by our camera, is in some considerable pain, and they seem to be, well, it's hard to tell where on his legs they're working. It looks like the left one at the moment, the right one at the moment, from this angle.
Well, that's really potentially a very serious situation. Rick Roufus just had his legs pounded there for almost 5 rounds. Kiatsongrit came back, showed tremendous courage in being able to come back from that knockdown in the first round.
And you really wonder at the wisdom of taking this fight on the part of Rick Roufus, game as he might be and as great a competitor as he is. Bill Wallace is in there working on Roufus. Wallace, obviously with some experience in knee injuries and leg injuries.
We're going to see now Roufus spinning around, but catching it right in the very back of that right knee. And you can see just great pain as he goes down.
And what we are seeing now is Wallace, Bill Wallace is in there. You can see his hands there checking the stability of that joint, trying to check for ligament damages. Let's go up to Chuck Hull to get the official time on this one. Our ring announcer, Chuck Hull.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 23 seconds of the 5th round. A winner by TKO, John Kiatsongrit.
Well, you can't take it away from Kiatsongrit. He did what his job was to do in that fight, and he won, and did very well doing it. Rick Roufus is still down, and Bill Wallace is still working on the knee, the right knee of Rick Roufus. What he's doing is feeling for any release of fluid from the bursa in there, and also checking for stability of the joint to see any problems, possible problems with ligaments here. As you can see that Roufus is in considerable pain. I don't know that Roufus got hit any time during the fight.
I think it was almost everything to his legs. I don't believe he got hit at all in the head or even in the body that much, but those legs just took a pounding from the very first bell. He showed tremendous courage to stay in there as long as he did. He really should have been out of there after about the 3rd round. But we just have to hope that his knee is not seriously damaged and he doesn't have to have any long recovery period.
Well, we'll be back here in just a moment, John and I. Don't go away.